thank you so much for joining the program. I know that you're very busy this morning, and our prayers to you and to your staff. We're so sorry to hear about this tragedy. Can you tell us more? All we've heard about is that this individual was killed outside of their home, and that's it. Do we have any more information?
I have a lot more information for you. Jamie White was here 7-8 years, really good friend of mine. He was our best writer. They're all great, but they would recognize he was the most prolific. You couldn't keep him out of here. He worked really 7 days a week. And when he was on vacation, we really missed him. He was the only writer that is actually basically outside the control room. His desk is right through that control room that I'm looking at. I could look through the open door at his desk. And I talked to him every day. I sent him articles. We were constantly on the phone. Really good friend of mine, and I'm in shell shock right now. He was up here Sunday night for the Sunday show we do that I was doing with Chase Geiser and the rest of the crew. I wasn't on air Sunday night. I was up there doing work, so I saw him one last time. And then he went home, and right before midnight, out by his car, he was either shot or stabbed. The police won't tell us. They said the call was a hot shot call, meaning serious wounding, stabbing, or shooting is what they call it. And we were really worried yesterday morning because he works early in the morning, and we were calling him. He wouldn't answer for hours. So one of the writers, who's really good friends with him, went over there, and there was yellow tape and everything. You'd seen in the news there had been a murder in the early morning hours. The police got there 2 minutes after a 911 call of someone seriously wounded. They got him to the hospital in 15, but as they rolled him in, he died. The hospital said right when he died on the table, right when they were starting to attend to him. And the crew member, just to give you an idea, said there was just blood everywhere. He could see over the yellow tape. The police came over, said, "We're not going to talk to you." They said, "No, we're his friend. He works with us." Showed the cop, obviously pictures with him and that person, because they hung out a lot. Jamie and his girlfriend, and then Don Salazar and his wife is also a reporter, but she doesn't work for us, but we work with her. So they were really big friends for years. Don's been here 14 years, and so people were crying up here in the morning, trying to not tell me what was going on. The police had asked them not to say anything until the family was told. Then they told me by 1 o'clock, he's dead. He's the guy that got killed, but we haven't gotten to all the family yet, so we can't talk about it. By 4 o'clock, the father and his sister were very close. They said, "No, the rest of the family knows. You can now tell people." And so I went on air at about 4 o'clock, did a special report on it, and told people what I knew. After that, we talked to the detectives again, and they said they have 2 suspects. That's all they'll tell us. They still aren't going to tell us gun or knife because they, obviously that's part of the investigation. People they talk to, they don't want other people to know, the details. They said that they'll be releasing more soon. I'm going to talk to them here as soon as I get off with you. They've got some more information. And obviously, everybody started seeing immediately that he was one of the few people. A U.S. senator got put on the list. Jack Posobiec got put on it. Jamie White got put on it. For going back over 2-3 years ago, putting U.S. aid and Soros in reports about all the illegal funding into Ukraine that's now top story the last few months with Doge. And so you can go see his post on X about being on that enemies list. And the people running that enemies list, one of them is an American citizen, a trans person, if you remember, was saying, "Yeah, we're going to come after U.S. citizens. We'll get you where you live." We obviously have the U.S. citizen leftists going over there and then getting all this training and recruiting people with all the clear CIA connections, all the passports and money coming back and trying to kill Trump at Mar-a-Lago. So there's a lot coming out of there. It's really NATO attacking America through Ukraine and through that lawless black hole. People are saying it could be that, could have been a crazy leftist, followed him from the studio. He went to see his girlfriend reportedly, and they may not have got him there, and then they waited and got him when he got home. We don't know all the details of that. It could have just been a crazy crackhead. There's a lot of crime here. We have the worst. I mean, he's recognized out of all the Soros DAs, over 800 of them, and county attorneys and others in the country, he is the worst, which is saying a lot. He lets people out of jail that shoot multiple people on 6th Street but didn't kill them, and that's the Bar District, and lets them out the next day. So this guy will not prosecute hardened criminals. He says if they're not white, he says it's all racist. He famously, when the Army sergeant off duty was doing a lift. Black Lives Matter blocks him. The Antifa member points the AK-47 at him.
Yes.
And then the sergeant shoots him. He had to be pardoned, totally clean shot. You see the guy aim the gun at him and tell him, get out. And he defended himself, total legal shoot. The governor had to pardon him. We have the worst person, Jose Garza. So whether it's Ukraine and the Soros group, or whether it's a criminal, which I tend to think that's probably it because there's a lot of crime. But I mean, who knows? It's just Soros everywhere. This is literally, they admit that Garza was literally financed almost his entire campaign 5 years ago to be the new DA. And I mean, he's so horrible. He calls people in Zoom meetings. You pull these up, type in Austin DA, Jose Garza calls city officials comrades. I mean, this guy calls people comrades. He's an admitted Marxist-Leninist. And so he has aided and abetted this. He is an accessory to this. If it wasn't the Ukrainians or some leftist. So it could have been the Ukrainians, could have been a crazy leftist, staked outside the office, followed him, could have been a crackhead, could have been, a gangster type. But regardless, every position we look at, it's all part of this crime wave and all part of the globalist system.
So, Alex, this is important. The police say that there is a suspect now.
Suspect.
Okay, suspects. There are two.
They said suspects.
Okay. So, I mean, that'll obviously be key in determining who this was and what their motivation was. Jose Garza is, again, a Soros DA. There was a Soros DA here in Tampa where we broadcast. The governor here in Florida said, you're not allowed to just openly violate the law and make one of our beautiful cities a crime-ridden hellscape. I'm going to remove you from office. Why don't Texas Republicans have the balls to do that? Austin is where the Capitol sits. It's a beautiful building. Austin is a great city with a lot of good energy. Why don't Republicans do something about this?
The governor did put the state police into the city, but all they did was write tickets. And I'm not trying to attack them, but I mean, myself, my family, we all got pulled over repeatedly. You're 5 miles over the speed limit. And so they didn't do any real law enforcement. And absolutely, I mean, Soros overthrows governments. He made his money first, crashing markets and stealing old people's pension funds, and is proud of it. He says the best time of his life was working for the Nazis in Eastern Europe when he was a teenager. I mean, the guy and his whole system is just it's the deep state, and absolutely, and they are getting removed in some areas, as you said. They're not being removed in Texas. The legislature is pretty bad. They just gave the Democrats as many seats on the boards in the state a few weeks ago. And so yeah, we've got a big problem. Texas is full of rhino, dirtbag, George W. Bush type people, and the process of removing them is ongoing. We have not cleaned house like Florida or some of the other states yet, and we need to.
Alex, I know you're justifiably upset right now. We pray for you, your staff. We said so last night as soon as we heard this horrible news. If there's anything that we can do to support Jamie or his family, let us know.
I haven't even thought of what to do that, and I'm so from everything so broke. But we're put something together to help, and we're talking to the family about
help something together. We'll share it and we'll donate. Alex, we'll be there for you. So, thank you.
Hey, brother, you're kicking butt. God bless you and your crew and your great viewers and listeners. You can find me on X at Real Alex Jones. We're all in this together. Benny, I really appreciate you.
Godspeed, Alex. All right.
God bless you, and thanks for caring about, because this is a journalist that's been killed. It should be investigated. I think Pam Bondi should look into it. The Austin Police Department admitted they're totally overwhelmed. They said they can't really respond to most crime scenes. That's a whole other area. I'm asking the Trump administration, this is important. This is a journalist that's been killed. It needs to be investigated. It could have been a hit. There's a good chance it could have been. The more I'm talking about it, the more I'm thinking about it. A lot of smart people are calling me saying, Alex, this 8 people have been killed the last 2 months here in the first of the year. Okay. What's the chances in a town of over 2 million people that an InfoWars lead reporter gets butchered? So we need to investigate this. And I'm asking the Justice Department to investigate.
All right. Thank you for that update, Alex. Our prayers are with you. Godspeed.
Thank you, sir.